gotta talk whatever you want on my show. Like, you're not in China anymore.
And if she goes back to China?
I don't know.
Arcade Studio Podcast. Conversations about creativity with guests that use it for a living. Available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and many other platforms. This podcast is 100% self-produced and free. If you like the episode, guest, topic, Reno's hats, or Andy's pecs, think about subscribing to our channels, leaving us a review, and following us on Instagram. Every little gesture is fundamental to help us grow. Okay, the intro is almost over. Let's start the show. Arcade Studio Podcast with Andrea and René Olivo. Listen more.
Welcome. D from Yellow D Comedy.
Yellow D Comedy.
Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. You see how my voice just changed completely from before.
I feel like my voice changed a little bit as well. I'm trying to look sexy. No, sound sexy, I mean.
No, it's fine. We'll see. We'll hear from the audience afterwards if we succeeded.
Sexy.
I rarely succeed in that, but it's all right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it's true.
That is true.
It's true. But anyway, here we are. You run a comedy showroom in Milan.
Yep. A show. Yeah. Open mics, and I also organize showcase or some comedy events as well.
That's sick. And you're also a stand-up comedian.
Yes, I am. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it's usually a sign of some sort of mental problem, but it's all right. No?
Exactly. I'm actually hiring my own comedians with mental issues, disability, and daddy issues. So if you know any, just let me know,
please. Plenty.
All of them. Just open up the phone
Including you too?
Yeah, no. Daddy issues probably.
I think we are, yeah, definitely. Check that.
You guys are welcome. So the next show is this Wednesday. So I hope to see you too.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
We'll be making plans for
that's
sure.
That's how I do the show here. Like, that's how I push people. They're not comedians. You come to my show.
You just have to come.
It was like really putting it on like personally.
I'm very good at not going.
That's the thing. And he said he's going to come to the show.
Yeah.
1 month before.
I said it was August. But August is holiday time, which means in Italy, we make promises that we can't keep.
What about September?
Yes, I didn't promise anything in September. If you'll notice.
All right, yeah, true. I'm going to write you. I'm going to start writing you now.
No, you must just do it because I have it there and it's become my focus.
Yes.
Like
please.
That's what I want to do in my life. I have to stand up once and do this bit that I've been writing.
So, I mean, guys, you know what to expect. Yeah. He's trying to be perfect.
Yeah, of course. But that's just me. That's what I do is I try to be perfect and then I fail at it usually. But
from that, you already sound like a very perfect, like professional comedian, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you write your own material, you practice and you hate your material and then you want to go more. So, yeah. Usually people just go there and renting themselves.
Yeah, but I've watched too many hours of Rogan to do that because like all of them, the Bert Kreischer and all the group that he's created around the podcast, they all talk about how much hard work goes into it and how much you have to write and how much you have to plan it, and it can't just be an improvised thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And for me, that I don't come from like any sort of acting or singing or anything like that. Like I'm behind the camera usually.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to, I really want it to be clean because I know somebody's going to be in the audience and knows me.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Is he famous here?
No, I'm not famous, but whenever you fuck up, somebody sees it.
Right. Sure.
And so, now it's like even if you don't know someone and someone's there with like a camera, someone's going to see it. Yeah, it's like a really bad fuck up, and that could be actually a good thing.
Exactly. You're promoting yourself as long as they can remember you.
Yeah. I'd like to give them like a memory of someone that fucked up, but knowing what he was doing, you know?
It's like, yeah, he really fucked up on stage, but that joke was clean. So like really clean.
What's your jokes about? Is it clean or nah?
I'm not clean while I tell them, but they're clean. I've got one about how sad it is to come.
Yeah.
So that's not clean, but I've got just they're just generally me just ranting because I'm a ranter. Okay. I've always been a ranter, so I've just tried to channel that into something else.
That's what I like about comedy here in Europe. Like you can just talk about everything you want. That's pretty cool. Because like I got some Chinese, like there's one Chinese girl, she wants to try open mic and she has done one time already. And she sent me some jokes, which is really fine for me. And she was like, is it okay? I mean, like, you being too Chinese.
Yeah, that's the
Why
thing.
in Europe? What the hell are you talking about? Girl, talk whatever you want on my show. Like, you're not in China anymore.
And if she goes back to China?
I don't know. That's the problem. Like, I usually turn off my phone during the shows. You know?
Yeah, okay.
So maybe let's talk about, like, it seems like you're doing all sorts of things around like the comedy scene. So you're being a stand-up comedian, you're promoting, and you're also like kind of
Hosting.
mentoring.
Yeah, I'm host the entire show as well. Yeah, so it was really hard at the beginning because it's harder to find the comedians and then also the audience. But thank God, it's only 3 months and we have 3 shows each week. It's not bad.
Okay, so it's super fresh because from Instagram and whatnot, you can't really tell because maybe it's an older thing, but it hasn't been posted so much, or it could be like you say now it's super fresh. So like, how was the setup process for you?
I'm sorry?
The setup, like how to get into the club, because it's a yellow hostel, right?
It's Yellow Square Hostel.
Right.
For audience, you can just show up. For comedians, if you want to perform, just talk to me at the site or message me. First of all, follow us, Yellow D Comedy on Instagram.
Exactly. So it's English stand-up.
Yes, or my personal Instagram, 1967 Delia. There are a lot of my selfies, so you're very welcome to like them all.
It's like,
That's how, like a call to action.
yeah, exactly. That's what we
missing.
need. That's exactly what we haven't done.
We need a promoter.
Exactly. You need a personal as well. You need a personal account as well, and post a lot of selfies. But guys, I don't know if it works.
No, it doesn't really work. No.
If you're good at Photoshop,
No, it works if you're a good-looking guy. It does work. Like,
I was trying to say something.
I think,
I'm like, you're a good-looking guy.
Okay, good, but I don't
just
know.
start posting like selfies. Like,
I'm just gonna start because my selfie's always a bit weird and skewed, and it's fine. But
I
it's,
love your messenger, like your Facebook profile.
which one is
you're
it?
the first person that has ever said that, like ever.
Which one is it?
Because the next thing I'm gonna say is I couldn't recognize it was you when I saw you here.
That's what people often have a problem with.
Like,
Because remember, I'm a professional photographer, so I know like how to get the good angle from myself first of all.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's it. But also like when you decided to start up this evening, the room, was it tough to find a spot where to do it, or were people open to it?
It was really hard because I was trying, first of all, because like stand-up comedy usually happens in a bar or pub stuff, and then try to email them. First of all, they don't reply my messages or emails, and then I got some replied. They said they do, they feel interested, and I said, is it in English? They just never replied. So yeah, and then one time I passing through a hostel, I'm like, this actually is the perfect place because everyone speaks English there, and they got their own residents and stuff. So I
and
started.
they got yellow in the name.
Yeah, Yellow Square. So I wrote the email to them, and then they said they are interested. So that's how it started. It was really hard at the beginning, and especially when the way that I got comedians, because I don't have any comedians. I promised Yellow Square we're gonna start. I don't know. That makes me sound less cool. I don't want.
That's even cooler.
No, it's
actually.
better.
I don't want people to know this because there were so huge, like a huge amount of people there. But okay, anyway, so we started. I was struggling looking for comedians, and I messaged like 100 people. I don't know. I just look at their profile, looks like comedians. I just started messaging them. 90% of them didn't reply. 5% said, I don't speak English. Another 5 replied, I would like to try. So yeah, that's how I started. And at the one point, I was so scared that Instagram might block my account. I was like a stalker.
You were spamming.
I'm like stalking everybody. And even now you go to my message, you see like I send 50 messages every night. I got like 2 in the morning.
Fantastic.
They replied. But yeah,
But that's how it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the only way to actually get your face out there.
Exactly. So the first show when I got some comedians like John Vincent, some other, like they've been doing comedy for a while now, so they know each other. They went to the show and they were like, how did you find this place? Oh, Delia messaged me. How did you so they asked me, how did you find us? I'm like, I'm a woman. I can find whatever I want on the internet. Excuse me, dude. Like,
It's true.
don't
It's true.
underestimate
My
me.
wife can find things that nobody has ever found before.
See,
Like one little
you gotta be careful
clue.
with that.
I found this like MySpace. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like, where's the mayonnaise? It's fourth drawer to the left.
Of another house.
So, exactly, but it's there. It's 100% there. No, it's awesome because that's the hustle. That's what we're all about here at this podcast. It's basically like figuring out how to get things started. And what we've discovered is that it's hard work.
Yes, it is. Like usually in the past, I think everything is easy to do, especially stand-up comedy. I mean, as long as you're a funny person, you can just go there and talk about yourself or your stories. And then it's not. I got inspired actually at the very beginning. I was living with a guy from Serbia. He is a very good stand-up comedian. He's been doing it for a couple of years. Like he's PhD in philosophy. So you can imagine how fucked up he is, right? And he just do like the thing he does, just every morning open my room door and threw books in my bed. You should read this book. And he just laughed, you know? And then he started telling me like everyone, because like audience love him so much. He's funny. And I was like, how did you become so funny? Like you are funny naturally. He's like, no. And then he showed me, he opened his door. I went to his room, his books, like all the books about comedies from the floor up to here. He's like, that's my natural funny. And then from that time, I started to understand, like, because I don't write jokes at the beginning. I just like feel like I have this topic, I'm going to go tell people. And then at the beginning, I started recording myself from the first time. And now I cannot watch the videos of myself. It's super, yes. Like my stories is like this long and punchlines here. And sometimes like I didn't remember. So I missed the punchline. It was terrible.
But that's what we were talking about before. Is like you're asking me, like you've got all this time.
You feel the same,
and that's exactly where I am now. Is like I think I've got like 5 minutes, yes, but the punchline's in there somewhere. I just need to figure it out and like drag it out of there.
Yeah. I understand. I mean, like the structure, of course, is important. The punchline, whatever they say, but also most important thing is you have to go to the practice.
Yep.
You have to go there, feel the audience. Some audience are really nice. They just love whatever you say, which means they don't listen to you.
Exactly.
And you're also so scared of those audience, they listen to you too much. It's just like, this is not a perfect joke, you know. I don't
like picking it apart. And
exactly.
It just depends on the type of people.
And I hate, like, you know, there were two guys in the comedy show. They are so serious. Every time they come stand at the back drinking beers, they discuss the jokes. I mean, like, this is not a university course. You don't have to do this, dude. I love you, like how you pay attention to it and you pick up your favorite comedian stuff. They talk about the jokes the comedians said on the stage. It was too serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's like a cineforum like kind of thing.
Yeah, a cineforum, of course.
It's like, he made a weird cut in this movie. I don't like it.
Yeah, or he meant this by this.
Yeah, he meant this by using this color.
Worst.
Yeah,
when people try to attribute like meaning to your words when you're just trying to be funny.
Exactly, and sometimes when you want to be funny, you have to lie, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, you know, for the audience, they are new to comedy. They just believe whatever you say.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, Italian, your audience is probably a bit more international because you're in a hostel, so probably generally.
It's true.
But Italian audiences, I think, are being exposed to like stand-up comedy in the last 5-6 years. Because before,
like real stand-up comedy.
Real stand-up comedy, like the greats. Because we had stand-up comedians in Italy, and did I say comedians? Comedians. And but you know, they were few and far between, and they still had the very Italian like cabaret style. And now all of a sudden they've got these people that come and do monologues and actually get to jokes and things, and it's really changed. And with Netflix as well, people are learning English.
Yeah, true. And I went to one time because I met John Vincent. He's the organizer for Italian stand-up comedy too. So one time he messaged me, Delia, you wanted to come to the show? I mean, I don't speak Italian. Yeah. He's like, don't worry about it. So I went there. I got that place. It's a super cool place. I don't remember the name, but it's like an outdoor stage. Super cool. Anyways, I got there, and you know, you been to a party? You know, you don't belong to that party at all. Like, I don't see any English speaking people there. Not to mention Asians. I'm the only Chinese there. I feel so like I want to go home. But we started, and it's my turn. So the whole time the show was in Italian. And then it's my turn. John Vincent all of a sudden just switched his language to English. And then he started asking people, what's your level of English or whatever. I went on the stage and I tell people like, I try to speak Italian, and my Italian is so shit. I don't know why did I try the first time. So I went on a stage, I tell people, and then they were just looking at me like.
Oh, wow,
so I switched.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you some jokes in English. If you don't understand me, just clap. And guess what? They clapped the entire time.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's a good way to read a room.
But they are getting better because I didn't expect Louis C.K. because we both went to the show. I don't expect him to have that much popularity.
Here in Italy.
Italy.
Whoa, I went to his show in June.
Yeah.
It was full. It
Exactly.
was full. And he got like 2 days in a row, right?
Yeah, and he did that already in, what was it, 2019 when he went
Yeah.
to the first one. And it was also like,
They added a
I think he
day.
did 2 sold out shows here, added a day, so went to 3 sold out shows, and then did another 3 sold out shows in
Yeah.
Rome. That's a big population of people that understand
Exactly.
comedy and understand English comedy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? We just need to drag them into your clubs now.
I think I think the thing is probably just like English stand-up comedy for audience is easy to understand because English is easy.
Yeah.
It's an easy language, but it's not that easy to do it.
Oh no, to do it, no,
No,
absolutely,
exactly.
because you need to know
As
the
an audience.
nuances. But you need, the great thing about being a promoter is that you now know that there's an audience out there that understands what these people are talking about.
Yeah.
You just need to get them in there.
I
it's
push.
also,
I
yeah.
push a lot.
Yeah,
And
That's
it's
what I
become like
did.
kind of cool. It's like kind of it's become the cool thing, like stand-up comedy in Italy in
Do you
English.
want to try too?
I would love. I've got like a whole lot of stuff written.
Can I see you on Wednesday?
Oh,
This Wednesday. I mean.
This Wednesday.
Maybe no. Thursday.
I'm
I
trying
got
to think.
Thursday too.
No, because
You got a Thursday too? Thursday's probably easier.
But I will eventually come. I'll probably come with him.
Yeah, when?
Probably with him.
Thursday.
I'm not sure. No, because this
No, I need
this week is
I need
terrible.
the exact date because
I'm not
that's how I
gonna go.
push.
October. Oh, you said October.
We'll talk about it after when we stop. If we fix a date, I'll organize to be there.
That's how I
will
push
try.
people to
Yeah.
like come
No,
to
but
the
I
show.
Yeah, it's like
We'll
my
be there.
arm hurts now. She's like,
I know.
like twisting it.
It's terrible.
Now I lost my train of thought.
No, I was going to ask who your worst because your worst sort of public is, your worst group of.
Oh wait! I got it. I'm back, baby. So no, like we're talking about Louis C.K. and I fucking forgot about it again.
Dude, come on.
The cool thing about like
on drugs?
Yeah, I'm on drugs now. Stand-up comedy in Italy in English, like the English stand-up comedy has become kind of like the cool brand.
You think so?
Yeah, so I've met a lot of people that say they listen to stand-up comedy because it kind of sounds cool, and they actually go to they go to shows just to be like in the cool crowd because like that's an upcoming art form in Italy, and like not too many people know about it, so it's still kind of like
Yeah, it's like indie.
a little bit indie, yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's really cool, and the fact that you have it in a hostel, which is really unique. That's really interesting because like you keep getting new people.
Yeah, exactly.
They all know pretty much English. and
Even
they're
like
open
sometimes
to it.
the show sucks. They just like they left. I don't need to care
You don't
too
have to worry
much.
about them. They're not local, so it doesn't. It's great actually.
Perfect starting point.
Exactly.
And the great thing about hostels is that there are loads of single boys and girls there usually. So for anybody who wants to go and try to pick
But
up
the problem
foreigners,
is they're too young. Sometimes
yeah,
like
too
you
young
know.
for us, but not too young for the people that have to come and watch the shows.
Oh, true.
It's like a new club. Yeah, they go there and maybe like
You know,
laughing.
It's like in the my open mic is more like I don't know English corner, dating night,
Yeah.
gaming nights. They just stayed after the show. They did drink beers, talk outside. It's very very nice thing to see, you know, because you see how they enjoy not only the show but afterwards as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But how did you start in stand-up, just generally? Because you started in China, right?
Yes. Well, so there was like a comedy club from Hong Kong. So they decided to do in Shenzhen. You guys know Shenzhen?
Yeah,
It's
we
like
know
30
of
minutes.
it. Yeah.
You been there?
So, no, I went to Shanghai, but Shenzhen is a big skate city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of them. So they started doing Shenzhen. Then I love comedy. I'm like a big fan of stand-up comedy all the time. So I went there to watch the open mics and then started hanging out with the comedians. Sometimes we talk. They were like, you're kind of funny. You can try. Are you sure? Yes, try. And then that's how I started. Like, it's
That's
super
it.
easy. Yeah, I didn't know. Like, I thought comedians are super lonely. You know, it's like so easy to make friends with them. As long as the show finishes, if you think they are cool on the stage, check them after the show. They are lonely as hell. Like you're gonna talk to them, they're super nice.
They're like drummers.
Yeah,
exactly. Like everyone like loves the front man, but like the drummer is like in the back drinking.
Like Bill Burr's a drummer.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, you're gonna say hi to them, buy them a drink. They are yours.
Yeah.
And that's my promise. Not me. I need 2 drinks at least.
Okay. 2 drink girl. Sick.
But so you had like it seems like you already have like this really big confidence, because when you said you thought stand-up was just going up and like talking about it, like saying a story, and the way you said it was like I have no problem doing that, like going in front of people and like just telling a story, and then the punchline was kind of like a secondary thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that confidence to get on stage in front of people and just like talk.
Yeah,
it
kind
seems like
of.
it was already.
Where
was
does
it
that come from?
Yeah, what happened?
I think it's
daddy
just
issues. I don't know. We were talking about it before.
because I've been like I go to different shows or open mics. I already know what jokes works, what jokes don't, and you just act confident. Sometimes even it's not funny, if you laugh at yourself, people are gonna laugh at you.
But in general in life, you seem very confident. Is it an act or is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know because
Keep it a mystery.
Either it's a really good act or you're very extremely
Don't fall in the
confident.
trap. Don't fall into the trap.
I don't know. What's the I didn't. Tell me later.
Okay.
Batman doesn't show like that he's Bruce
But
Wayne.
yeah, I really like a Hostel. The thing is, because we have different style of comedians. Every time they mention different nationalities or they come from that country, there's always some audience they can relate it.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty cool thing. It's like I got a Chinese audience sometimes, which is fun. Every time I went to the show, I saw some Chinese audience. I know 0 of them, and that's so strange. I got like 6 out of them. I don't know 0 of them. So yeah. Anyways, they come to the show, but I really don't like Chinese audience.
Yeah.
Like it's
You don't want to do a Chinese night?
it's not I do like my people. I mean, of course. What are you talking?
It's comedy. It's a comedy audience. Let's be specific.
Yeah, this is the thing. I really like the comedy in Europe because you give tips. That's awesome, guys. Because comedians, I think all of comedians don't think they deserve money.
Right. No, you don't.
I don't know. I don't. It's just like
like actual tips.
Exactly. Like
okay.
they don't think they deserve to get paid. Like this is not about the job is like useless or worthless. It's more like comedians are like this.
Yeah.
They have very low self-confidence, whatever. So I like this is like people tell me you should ask a tips when there's a good show. I'm like, oh, that's a very good idea. So I start asking for tips, and then here comes my Chinese audience. First of all, we need people to buy drinks to support the venue, so they can keep letting us to do the shows over there. I encourage people to, come on, guys, buy 1 drink, 2 drinks. Sorry. And then my Chinese friends, they all came with a giant big bottle of water, which is okay. And then the entire time, they don't tip, of course.
So it's true.
We're cheap. We're cheap. We are.
Frugal.
And then they are super easy to get offended. The entire time see they come to a comedy show, they just, the entire time they say like, like, why you ruin your night? Like, you don't have to come out. And please don't come again.
Yeah, it's like, cheers, dude. We'll come and have noodles next time. But it's terrible. It's rough to see. Like, why do you think that is? Because is it because maybe in China there's a little bit more repression in general? But,
of course.
So it's that's why, because they're scared of what they can laugh at.
Well, it's way much free, of course, here in Europe or in other countries, I would say. In China, we have stand-up comedy show as well. Like, guys are really funny. Chinese people are funny there, but all they can talk is dating. That's it.
That's it. It's like a long list.
Let me try to give it another one. I don't know.
Money, maybe.
Job.
Yeah,
no politics, for sure.
Nah, we don't have it. What are you talking about?
Politics, of course not.
We don't have it. So it's exactly, so like they feel more if you joke, like, because some of the comedians, they are very aggressive. They make jokes, not aggressive, but like, it's as like a crowd work. They talk to audience. But then some of like Chinese people just take very personally.
Yeah.
You
I can imagine.
I mean, yeah, exactly. So like, it's just different aspect of the topic that you can talk towards Chinese audience. I mean, like they appreciate stand-up comedy too, but I think they need to be trained more, especially
they need to be freed more.
Exactly.
Just a little bit more. No, just
that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
That's not wrong. But I don't. But yeah, just like having the idea that, like you said, is like you're in Europe now and you can just chill a little bit.
Yeah.
But like we said, is like, you know, maybe everyone's listening all the time and you just don't know when you go home.
Oh, like
if you can't go home.
I'm gonna go back and just tell them I've been studying in Europe. That's it. I didn't do nothing. It's pretty hard right now because like I love my life in Europe. I feel like COVID-19 is like a long time ago thing.
It does feel like
it's
that, doesn't
so
it?
free, right? But like, you know, the truth is China is still locked down.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really hard to go back. And every time I call my family, I have to tell them that I can't go back to visit them, which is really hard for me to do that because I have to pretend I'm sad all the time.
Of course. Sorry,
like
mama.
pinching yourself, like crying.
I cannot go back. You know, I didn't choose to do that.
That's sick.
Yeah.
You said something like I found super interesting at dinner. You said from the moment you started, like you said you would drive through like 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
To get to the closest comedy club.
Yes. It's not even the comedy club. It's just the
like
spot. Who would
place.
like to host for comedy?
That shows like already from the get-go, it was like dedication. And you've proven in the past like 15 minutes to be like a hustler, like so
really?
In a good way, in a
good
sense
way,
of the
yeah,
word.
like trying on the grind, like all the time. Okay, I want to do this. I'm interested in it. I'm gonna do everything I can. Like 6-hour drive. Who gives a shit?
But back then, I didn't realize that. I would just like, okay, if there were some people going to go with me, comedians, we go, let's go together. I don't care. But until this time, I'm not good at all. But like, I mean, back compared to before, probably I'm of course improving some part of me. And now I look back, I realize, okay, so hard work, like not hard work, but you know, I have so much respect for people doing things, like, you know, doing real things. Even the street artist, I didn't know. Like in the past, I don't know. I just like, I think all of the, you know, the things that you do, you make it easy. You make it look easy. So of course people think it's easy to do. Yeah. And then when you have to go through and you look back, oh shit, it's been so many years and I'm here and I'm still not good. And imagine those people that you think they are good, how much they paid at the back, like you don't see them. I probably think that's another reason I keep doing it. First of all, it changed me so much. Like, you know, I told you like comedians, they have so much like serious problems. Yeah. And then, but why I respect so much is because they decided to look at their problems in a cool way, in a positive way. I would say positive because that's how it changed me to make me to look things in a funny way or make me to be more positive. I don't know. It's just like, I don't dwell myself anymore when shit happens. I remember one time I got fined in Italy. You shouldn't learn this, right? Like, you should always buy your tickets, bus tickets, because you don't know what's gonna happen. I was in Turin and I was late, so we got the bus to catch the train, but then we didn't buy the ticket. Then people came check us, of course. And I was traveling with another two Asian girl, one Asian. They were like younger than me, 22 something. And then one girl asked me, Delia, what should I do? I'm like, prepare to cry. You're Asian, you look innocent. I will try. And then I couldn't speak Italian. And I tried to talk to him. I don't know. I spoke all of the Italian I know and I don't know. But the thing I'm pretty sure that I did is I said, please, policeman. Because that's what you do in China. Whatever you do, if you got caught, you just say policeman. They know they are not fucking policemen, right? So if you give them a big title, they'll be like, okay, fine, you go. You're afraid to go. So I said that, per favore, polizia, so many times. And the guy started making a call and stuff. I even told my Asian girlfriends, I was like, see, it works every time. 5 minutes later, a policeman came with a car.
Whoops.
It was like he thought, like, please call a policeman. It was like, okay, whatever.
And then we got a 50 euros fine. Then the girls start crying. Oh my God, so much money. I'm like, too late to cry. It was a really bad. It was a really bad experience. You know, it was very awkward because, like, I mean, like, I don't want it to. You got caught, and we don't. I promised you, government.
Yeah,
I promised
you managed to make it worse.
Yeah, I promised the government I would not break the law before I apply the visa, whatever. That's. But anyways, I mean, I look at now, I think it's funny. On that day it was super awkward. So I think this is like how it will change your mindset or your perspective of seeing a thing. You know. Yeah. So it's that's why I love comedy, and you know, doing comedy it helps me to meet so many great people. Mm-hmm. Like my comedians, or all of the comedians I've met, they are strange as hell. They are so weird.
Of course, you have to be weird.
And that's what I'm saying. They don't reply your messages. They told you they will come, then just disappear. Like so many. It's so hard. And then before the show, they will message you, sorry, I'm having a problem with myself. They just decide not to come. Like, oh shit, how am I going to handle this then?
Weird.
That's a mission. Like
that would drive me crazy. I have no.
You cannot be a promoter at all.
Imagine today I told you I'm going to come, and then.
Well, this isn't work for me. So if for some reason you said like you dropped me, but on the job, I'm like a Nazi. I'm like, you know, if you don't come, it's like that's
you
it
for me.
Yeah, forget about it. I'm never going to work with you again.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm really like a pain in the backside with that, because it's. Like for my kind of work, we have one day when it's similar to what you do, but it's like, you know, you got a photo shoot on that day, and everybody is there that day. The day afterwards is not possible. The next week is not happening.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just that day.
Do they come back to beg you like, please give me one more chance? It was my problem.
No, not really, because these people will do the rounds of all the photographers, or you know, and then maybe with other people they won't be late again. So it'll just, they might have a long career or whatever, but with me, they don't.
With me.
So it's just like.
Me not good enough.
I've got some assistants that used to work with me that I just stopped calling for like silly things that probably, you know, they don't even realize they did, but they really drove me nuts. And they've had massive careers. They become like really respected photographers and everything. But I just couldn't deal with him on the set. And it's like
just imagine you had a little piece of that. Like you had a little piece.
Oh, no, but that's the thing.
Making them.
Yeah, I know that I have a little piece in that.
Who's the people who like to be late the most? Tell me the nationality.
No, the nationality. Well, Italians can't be on time, even if their lives depend on them. But
my show actually on the poster I said 9 o'clock, but literally it always 10. Starts at 9:30. Yeah. Now 10 is too much, but 9:30 exactly. Yeah. But then I feel so bad about those people. Like they are so punctual.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
And then have to come here and wait for like 30 minutes. I mean, if it's full of Asian people, like, we're gonna start at 8:30. That's how much time burning for us. Sorry, we don't delay. Okay,
it's like right, boom.
But that's the thing is like I think because in Italy it's a thing that nothing good happens on time. You know?
Really? Is that a saying?
It's not a saying, but I think that's how they expect it. It's like the evening will only start off like after the first half hour, because in the first half hour everybody's organizing themselves, sitting down, getting drinks, blah blah blah, and so it doesn't really like nothing's actually there, you know. And then it'll start, but they don't realize that if everybody's late, everything gets shifted off by half an hour.
Exactly.
So it's like just trying.
Actually, that's something. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to start the show on time. Next time, if you came late, that's it. Finish. Yeah, you missed the show.
They know. Like once you do it, that's it. Like, you know, something like I know where I can be late and when I can't be late.
Like what situation you can't be late?
I can't be late to dinner with the family.
Yeah, exactly. Like our family.
But you can be late for work.
I can usually be a little bit late for work, because I'll send my assistants in and whatnot.
Why can't you guys, like, why can't you be late for work? I don't get it.
Don't look at me. I can't even talk. I can't talk about that.
I don't have a job. I
can't talk about that. I think I've always been late, like in life. Like, so it's like, don't worry about that. Yeah. I still have a job.
Is it fine here? Like if I'm working here, is it okay to be late? What's the punishment? Like, for example, in China, if you get late, you got your money got reducted so much.
Oh, no.
They don't?
No.
What kind of situation your money will?
Like we don't have real jobs.
Okay, so don't take your
we
opinions,
can't really
right?
say, because I'm sure that there are companies that expect people to be on time and they're not paying.
Of course.
But I think it's just a reputation thing, really. If you start being the guy that's always late, you know, people are going to like respect you a little bit less, and there's just going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it's just you can't be reliable. So I'll be like on time.
Okay, so since when you guys are jobless?
Always.
Since this episode comes out.
No, you have a real job. You have a.
No, I have a real job.
Director.
But it's still creative. So and it depends on like what kind of like sector you go into, like what industry you go into. Like I work for MTV and for like the media company, so my like whole creative department is kind of a little bit shifted, and we work with internationals as well. So if you don't start at like 9, you can start a little bit later and then finish later. So it's like
it's more like flexible.
Yeah, it's flexible, and we work on objectives rather than hourly rate, even if it's like the contract is hourly rate.
Okay, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but it's
I can
like,
extend.
Yeah,
I can postpone as much as well.
Shift
that's really nice.
Yeah, just move it around.
And then you just got to do your job. Like when you have to do the job, you do the job, and a little bit more. Like it'll be a little bit of salt on top.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And for us, the only time that we have to be on time is if there's a plane to catch or a train to catch or something. Because otherwise...
Speaking of the train, oh my God, you know, you usually, like, I don't know, when I take a train, I usually go there at least 20 minutes before the train takes off. Like, you know, you have to do that in case you don't miss the train. But in Italy, like in Milan, every time I go 20 minutes, I can never send the information on the board.
No, of
I'm
course
like,
not. No.
it's like even like 10 minutes before the train leaves, it still say nothing. So I'm like, probably like it's delayed or something. And out of nowhere, 5 minutes left, and boom, it showed up. And I'm like, oh shit, I have to grab everything and run. And
it's always the other, like the last track.
And it's so far away. Like I can barely make in 5 minutes. I'm thinking about, that's why like older people in Italy don't travel anymore. Like
probably.
If I'm older, how could I could never make it.
Think about it. Like it's actually better now.
It's
like
bad?
It used to
better now?
used to be bad.
No way.
Like bad.
Wow.
And now it's like everything's kind of connected to the internet, and it's probably just like they do it on purpose now.
Yeah.
And like before, it was kind of like serious like decadence in the workplace.
It was pretty shitty.
Yeah, right. So I tell people, I complain this to my Italian friends. They go like, "Oh no, we travel with cars."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But there's the same problem with the cars, because there's always like a traffic or an accident or something. No, it's a nightmare. Moving around in Italy is actually it's easier compared to South Africa. Because in South Africa, the only option is driving or walking.
Or riding an elephant.
Yeah, we can ride elephants, but
Really?
they're uncomfortable and they tend to leave a lot of shit around the place. So we choose not to use them too often. But giraffes are better. Giraffes are way better.
Nice and high.
Yeah, you can.
Right.
Camouflage.
They got longer legs, smoother ride. It's all right. But no, so when we moved here, we didn't have to deal with giraffes and elephant dung and of course all that problem is like, oh my God, like you got trams and trains and buses and you know, taxis and
Oh
my God,
everything.
it's
like,
so
oh
developed.
my God, we were like, I mean, for me, I'll never complain about anything in Italy because for me, I'm still like grateful that it exists.
Wow, it's so different because like here when I got here from the first day until now, I'm still complaining about the public transport.
Yeah, but you have to choose either a government.
Exactly. Well, government doesn't actually affect that much though, because like I'm
in
like
China.
In China, yeah, we have that's the thing. Like we talk about this so many times with people. Like they say, "How do you feel about your government?" Like literally nothing. It's not like I'm not allowed to talk about it.
No, of course, but
we're allowed to. But like the thing is, I don't know how to talk about because we only have one. And since I was born, the entire time, look at me. I'm having fun. I'm working, doing whatever you guys doing. before I came here, I don't know what's freedom. Like, I just feel like I can hang out with my friends, go to party, get drunk, super wasted, and that's freedom for me.
Because like you kind of, which city were you from in China?
I'm from a very small city. It's called Zunyi, but I lived and worked in Shenzhen. So
okay, Shenzhen.
Yeah. So like a lot of people ask me, and they feel like, and every time they're so cautious. Like, you should look at. So how do you? I don't know if I should ask you this. I'm like, ask me.
I'll definitely ask. I'm really interested.
Ask me for that. But I mean, the thing is, like, I don't. Because when you are born and raised up in that system, you don't see. Of course, there's a good system and bad system, right? Like, there's a good way, the good things and bad things about it. So, like, the thing is, we don't have another thing that we can compare to. So, how can you tell me the drawbacks of my system? That's the thing. And also, like, you never had only one government, so you think two is good. For us, we think one is good.
No, I think one is probably a better way. If you want the trains on time, one is perfect. When Italy had one government, our trains were on time.
You guys, like Italian people, they have to go back to their house, to go back to the hometown to do the election, vote for the election. In China, we don't do this because automatically you go. We save the time. We travel. We hang out with people. We party.
Like the government's like, don't worry, we got this.
Exactly.
We got this.
So like,
we know what we're doing here. Don't worry about it.
I don't care. Like, who's the prime minister? For me, I don't really care. And then my friends, this comedian friends, start. So what do you think about now? You're in Italy. So what do you think about this new prime minister? This far right and so. What's far right?
We're so far left. It's kind of like all the way around. Like,
what is far right? I understand far and right. What's far right?
But they're like, but like Shenzhen.
They just say the trains are going to be on time again.
Yeah, it's like we're going to be early. But like in Shenzhen, you have like a big subway system as well, right?
Yeah.
So you came from, and I was in Shanghai and Beijing.
Yeah.
And both were like totally different, like country, like cities, country as well. But the subway was on time, like
I know, right?
To the minute. And even like the train.
It's super fast as well.
Yeah, we went from like Beijing to Shanghai, and it was like a mess of people. Like everyone, it was like so crazy, but it was on time. And everyone was like perfect.
Why are we so like worried about trains being on time?
But she brought it up. Yeah. I'm trying to defend.
That's why I got a bit late today. It's like, each station is up for 3 minutes. And I was so scared that you guys might misunderstand me. Like, oh, she's not on time. We're set at 7:30. We're going to start. Now she arrived at 8.
You asked me at one point, it was like, are you like super punctual? And I said, no, we're South African. You took that as being like, yes, we are super punctual.
You are?
But so Africans generally are notoriously not on time.
It's because giraffe are slow.
Giraffes are slow.
Giraffes are super slow.
You got issues.
Sometimes they have to fight.
People steal power cables. We're too busy on the beach. Just generally, people live life quite freely over there. So it's like
they have this really good fermented milk that gets you kind of buzzed, and everything's slow.
yeah, it's madness.
Yeah, but let's bring it a little bit back to comedy. Because do you just do English, or you also do Chinese stand-up?
I never tried in Chinese.
Never tried.
No.
So it's like your humor is totally based on like English.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Like for me, like I watch some Chinese stand-up comedy. They have to. They requires a lot of like you have to learn a lot. I don't think I'm able to do that anymore. Like look at those Chinese stand-up comedians. They quote from the books, and I'm not able to do that.
But you can't do like an American style thing translated into Chinese.
No,
impossible.
I tried it one time. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, it's impossible.
Is it because the language structure is different, or the cultural structure is different?
I think first of all, a lot of jokes are related to like puns. Yeah, puns. So like Chinese and English are completely different. Yeah, and also like because like the cultural differences. So it's hard to when you think it's funny in Chinese, it's definitely not funny in English. Of course, yeah.
Because that's the thing we spoke to with Marco from B Comedy. Okay, and we were talking about like translating jokes from English to Italian, and it's the same sort of problem that it's difficult to do. I mean, it's possible. I reckon it's not impossible if the premise is something that's international.
True.
If the premise is something that is funny in Italy and in England or in whatever, it's just how you get to the punchline. The punchline will obviously have to be different, but It's just the premise is, if the premise is funny, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
No?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think maybe it's a question of timing.
Yeah.
The timing and the
I heard
words,
they say like Italian, because Italian language, like some of the words are super long, so it's very, because English is short and easy to so it's easy to capture people's attention. But Italian, when the point, like the punchline is finished and you're still saying the thing, people can already foresee what you're gonna say. So that's not funny anymore. But in English, probably
that's clear. I never thought about that. The fact that it's such a long language, like drawn out language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you think about it, it's same in Chinese, because like from the grammar, like in English, you have to say it's easy thing. For example, I go to eat hot pot with Renee. Finished, right? So you have to listen to the at the end, then you know like what you did in English already. Like what's the most important thing is I went to eat hot pot with someone. Right. But then in Chinese, you have to say everything else first. You know, like you have to mention Renee first and me, and then hot pot. So that the grammar is different to where you place the words. So it's completely different sense of humor.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's why, and I don't really want to try Chinese. They were so taboo, taboos, you know. Yeah.
Because it could have been interesting, like to have like outside of China having created like a new standard revolution in Chinese, and just like it was interesting. I just wanted to know if like you did both.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I would like to try Italian if my Italian is. I'll try next year.
Yeah. Hopefully. Are you studying?
No.
No, that's fine. Well, next year, I need a date.
Exactly. We want a date now.
We want a date now. You give us a date
now.
We're gonna swap dates afterwards.
Okay.
And then is there any like American or English or international comedian that you aspire to? Like when you go up to do your own stand-up, is there someone that you kind of like aspire to, like a style, or like or is it
Ellie
just
Wong?
like?
I think the Ali Wong, oh my god, she's cool. She's cool, but
funny.
yeah.
She's the only comedian that my wife can laugh at.
Really?
My wife doesn't have a sense of humor.
Oh, wow. But the thing is, like, first of all, there are very few female comedians. Yeah. You know, because like in general, people just don't expect women can be funny. So when you say something, excuse me,
what did you say?
Like,
I'm offended.
Like once you do like if you're a female comedian and you be a little bit funny, people, I think it's a disadvantage for women and also advantage for women too.
Yeah.
Like, because as long as you can be like a little bit funny, there's competition.
Right, of course.
And
it's the thing that we were talking about before dinner. It's a surprise. You know, it's like if you're someone that you don't expect to be funny, like usually beautiful men aren't funny.
Exactly.
Right.
It's very
it's
true.
the same thing. So there are very few funny, beautiful guys.
Like who I'm gonna say, I don't know yet.
Dane Cook. Dane Cook was famously beautiful, you know, and that's why he became like a superstar back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Sure.
And that was this thing. It's like you're too good looking to be funny. Krista Stefano, maybe. There are a couple of like
very few
guys, right? Very few, because if you're beautiful, you don't have to be funny, because you can just pick up girls being beautiful. If you have like face problems,
that's what I'm saying. Like you look at this like male comedians, they all date hot girls. Like
yeah, of course.
What about female comedians? Who they date? You don't know. Like Pete Davidson, he dates like his ex-girlfriend Kim Kardashian, right? Ali Wong just got divorced with her husband, right? And like
Pete Davidson looks like a horse.
He looks.
He's a fake, like pretty guy.
Yeah.
He knows how to dress.
He's cool. He's a cool guy. But
he got
beautiful.
this like very depressing attitude style. Like girls just like that. They all think like I can save him.
Yeah, no.
You know, you're depressed, but I can save you.
Yeah, that's like kind of like there's this one. You remember when they used to have like media shopping, like TV shopping.
Yeah.
In South Africa, there was like a channel. There was like a moment they had like a channel, and they had
like
this one
telemarketing.
Yeah, like telemarketing, and they had this one commercial for like a fish lure.
Okay.
Okay, and the fish would like, it's like a little plastic like metallic thing. It would move.
For the people that are just listening to this on Spotify, Reno is.
I'm doing this with my finger.
Is doing this with his finger.
Maybe you can hear it on the microphone. But basically, like they said, they would sell it because they said genetically, like a fish, if they see this movement of this like this fish, this worm, they have to bite it.
How high were you when you were watching this?
I've never been high in my life.
Oh yeah.
Never.
No, it's unfortunately true. That's the weird thing about him.
And I'm a passive stoner. Like I don't.
Yeah,
smoke.
but your friend was stoned next to you.
Probably. But in South Africa,
I thought that's the only good thing being white because it's illegal for you to smoke.
Black people. In America.
I love
I'm going to tell you the truth now. There's nothing good about being white, honestly.
I hate when you're white and you say that shit.
We've had to fight for everything and take everything away from everybody else because it's so shit being white.
Because your life is so good. Your life is so good. You start caring about others in a wrong way. You feel offended for everyone else, but that's
the
we're
thing.
fine. We're fine.
That's the thing.
We're so lucky. We really are.
What about being yellow? Like yellow D.
I don't know. I don't know. What's it like being yellow?
It's a cool color. I mean, I like yellow.
That's a weird color to associate to Asians, though, isn't it?
Exactly. We're not.
You're
Look, I'm even like pinkish.
You're like
exactly. Like I'm.
You're whiter than we are.
Exactly. How come? I don't get it. Yeah, but I mean,
we just bought the copyright on that.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
Well, being yellow, you can just be innocent. You young. You look young. Yeah. I remember when I was in Barcelona, I met the two guys from the hostel. They're like 20, 21. So we decided to hang out together. We just had a talk. They didn't ask my age when I asked their age. So they were like, let's go to the bar to have some drink. After 2 drinks, I think that's it. And then the guy goes like, we should go to club. I'm like,
no, 2 drinks.
No, it's but it's like a long night. I just got there, whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm 29. And he's like, no way, you're 29. And I'm like, yeah, I look at this just because I'm Asian and that's it. I'm so tired. I gotta go home.
Gotta sleep.
Well, hey, the only good thing about being Asian, just we look young. That's it. Yeah, and it's not a good thing for Asian men.
You age all at the same time. All of a sudden.
Exactly.
Generally.
I don't know. I hope I don't.
I had an Indian flatmate for a long time. And her mom looked hot until one day she didn't. She came in just like a Ninja Turtle. It was crazy. It was so weird. It was like all of a sudden, what happened to you? Like serious disease or something. Like, no, this is what Indian ladies do. They age all at the same time.
But then the thing is that then turn to white people. You start looking the same from 16 until 46.
Yeah. I'm almost at the end of that now. I'm going to start aging.
That's the thing. I don't think you should be proud of your race or feel sad because you cannot choose that. Then that's the thing.
You should be proud of your race if you're white. Don't you think?
Yeah. You got so many privileges,
Yeah, sure.
And you always say that all the time.
That's the thing. People always say we should be treated equally. There's this equality thing. Every time you heard this, it always comes from the white. They say this with privilege.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Because
you should be treated equally.
Yeah, and it comes from white because they know what that means being treated. Because for us, it's not treated. There's no treat for us. Course, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god!
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing how racist we can be.
I hate white people.
But there you go. That's going to be in the teaser.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, I speak for Asians.
You should speak for all Asians.
I seriously think that the world needs more strong Asians. That's why I go gym.
and do you include all Asians in that, or is it some Asians?
I'm not a racist,
That was the phrase that is the worst thing to say.
I'm not a racist,
but.
I can't stand
it. You should be.
I think everyone should be treated equally.
Yeah, of course.
That's a callback.
Oh wow, we're on fire right now. I'll see you next week on Wednesday.
That's a promise. Hey guys, you heard that?
I should just say that.
Yeah, but this
Renee's gonna go to Yellow D Comedy Show on next Wednesday, Yellow Square, 9 p.m.
You're so lucky that nobody gets to 54 minutes.
Exactly, and no one knows when this episode is coming out except for me.
It's gonna be after next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, so next Wednesday.
Yeah, but we don't know when it'll be next Wednesday because
if this comes out
time
2 weeks from now,
time is relative. We should.
Oh, we have a date for when this is coming out. It's 2024.
We have a date. That's what I heard.
Yeah, we have a date. It's not right. No, it's coming out in like 2 years' time, this episode.
What?
2 years' time.
2 years.
2 years time. Wow,
because
that's long. What inspired you guys to start to
talking? We like talking. We like hearing our voices a lot. And
that's
then
such a narcissist.
We used to have mirrors in front, like as a guest.
And
we would have like actual arguments with like
I've managed to have arguments with myself. But the fact, we're podcast fans, listeners. We listen to podcasts constantly. He started, and then because the genesis. This is interesting. This is going to be good because what I do, like for me, YouTube was debates, people fighting all the time. Okay. Christopher Hitch, it's all like random, like Christians versus Arabs, all that kind of stuff. It was super fun for me to just see people intellectually debate. And then he's like, "Why are you listening to this bullshit? You should be like."
There are people that actually like play chess while they box.
But there are people that have conversations that go on for like 3 hours, and it's the same thing that you're doing, but without all that aggressiveness, and they actually get to a point in certain ways, no? And so he turned me on to Rogan and a couple of others, and then from there, I was like, "Hang on a second, I have a studio. Why don't we buy some mics and do it ourselves?"
That's cool, and I like always like people there. The very few people, they just think like I should do this, then they just started to do it right away. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like you just got some thoughts about it and you started doing it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's rad and it's so much fun. Honestly.
Yeah, and then like we meet so many people as well.
It's our night out because I don't really go out.
Do you guys make money out of it?
Nope.
We break even.
You should never say that.
We break even. We're fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
All right, cool. I mean, like, it's 2 years. If you still don't make any money out of it, you should quit.
No, it's because, like I said before, like rather than going to a bar and just chatting and meeting people and spending money in a bar, this has the potential to make money one day.
That's true. No, so, it depends on who you met in the bar.
The way that I meet people in the bar is impossible. I don't speak. I don't speak to people. I like literally like. If I'm at the bar, I'm like drinking. And if I don't know you, I'll never know you.
All right.
You really have to come up to me like, "Hey man, how's it going?" Yeah. I'll be like,
I don't want to talk to you.
I don't.
Do you guys have like a pickup line in a bar or like at a never?
Worst pickup guy ever.
No way.
Worst.
Terrible.
No way.
Terrible. That's like one of the you said you had like social anxiety of public speaking, and I was even worse than you. Like terrible. And then whenever I had to speak at school, I would be like,
I don't think it's harder to believe because, like same as comedy, like you think all of the comedians, first of all, at the beginning, I think all of the comedians are funny. And then, like Robin Williams just killed himself. Like like Mr. Bing, he has like the hugest, like the most serious depression. And also like, comedians and then back the stage, they are super introverted.
Yeah, of course. But we're not comedians. No, but the thing is like, it's not like, I don't feel introverted. Okay. I'm not able to speak to people that I don't know. Like I really, like in a loud and noisy place.
Okay, you're shy.
Yeah.
You're not like introverted. What's the difference between introverted?
No, it's different. I think it's different because introverted means that like, you're sort of inside yourself, and you sort of protecting yourself from the world and stuff like that. Shy is more like, I don't know how to approach people, and that's how I am anyway.
I've never smoked. Wow, water's in there. That's like some Chinese like.
It is actually Chinese, baby.
It's like but I'm like kind of different though because
you're maybe like, more introverted.
I've always like wanted. Like a part of me has always been wanted to be like on a stage or something, like since I was a kid. And then for me, it's like a mechanical thing, as you just like noticed, like even I'm fucking up my words. Like I feel like my tongue is too big for my mouth sometimes. And like mechanically, I can't get my point across sometimes. So that ends up being like a stutter or something like physical. And then that just like snowballs.
You guys look so confident at this moment. Like from the moment we met each other, saying hi, we're playing games like there.
Yeah, but this is our this is my happy place.
Okay.
Like when I can get people one-on-one, I've got no problems. When I can get people in a room where it's like not crazy.
So you're saying like if we met at a bar, if I come to talk to you,
if
just
you
like,
come to talk to me, it's not a problem.
do I need to be like a specific words? Like you just
No, it's fine. I'll talk to anybody. Like it'll come to me. I'm not going to go to anybody else.
Oh, okay.
You know,
even that person looks interesting.
Yeah, it has to be very interesting.
And it's hard. It's hard.
Like I know a lot of interesting people, so I always have to weigh up. Like, is the mission of going to meet this interesting person more than I want to invest at the moment in time?
Yeah,
so
it's like,
that's how I weigh it up. And for me, any place which is like a club and people are talking to me, I'm always just like nodding. I don't understand anything they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read lips. I don't know how to do it in either Italian or English. So people are like in the club, and I'm like. And I feel like the biggest idiot because
clubs. You mean like those dancing clubs?
Yeah,
you mean
clubs or like even a crazy aperitivo, like where you're supposed to meet people. Like I get invited to maybe like a fashion thing or something, and I'm supposed to be there chatting to all these cool people and trying to make connections, and I can't understand what they're saying. So for me, it's just useless. So what I do then is I take a list of the people that I should have been meeting, and I invite them to the podcast. And then we spend 3 hours chatting and have a drink.
It's been 2 years. Are you ever feel like, what does that feel like? I'm interview you guys.
No, because that's the thing. That's what happens with Asian people. Because also Stain was the same.
What do you mean Asian people?
Yeah.
You use Asians.
We're like studying, we're going to steal something from you. Like it's become our thing.
Like,
that's how we concur. But I mean, the thing is
the thing is, this is a conversation. It's not an interview.
Have you ever it's been 2 years, have you ever felt like you're running out of the list?
No.
Feel like struggling looking for someone to
No, it could
they
even
were
be
just
like another
being
person.
cool guys. I know they are out of people.
No.
You're talking to no one right now. That's why we have like 3 views. And this is for us. Like,
No. We the list is ever getting longer and longer and longer. They're further and further out of our friend zone now. So now it's like people like you that we don't know. It's like, dude, do you want to come out? And it's like, okay, cool. And then we become friends.
Yeah. It's like, it's an interest thing as well. Like, because we had so many friends that were doing interesting things and they never had a way to explain it and to get it out there, have it out there. And even like, how many people do you know in your life that you don't know exactly what they do? Like how their mind works. And we're like, okay, let's just do that. And then if we don't have a guest one day, we can do like one just on us, or we can re-invite someone.
Oh,
and then I'll be like, okay, we talk about this. Yeah. So there's always, it's like not a problem. And then for us, it's also like I'm very interested in learning how to talk to people and also just to speak a little bit better. And the more you do it, the more you get accustomed to it. And then because I've done this podcast, like it's like 4 years now, the 4th year. And I had to speak on stage like last week, and there were 3 people in there were 3 people.
Is that the 3 view comes from?
That was like that's like the worst thing ever. It's like it's worse having 3 people than having like a crowd of people.
You just reminded me of one time I went to this show place for a stand-up comedy. There were like 3 people. 2 people were super drunk. I have to perform in front of them. Oh my God, that was like the worst time ever. But it was also like a good experience because then you will know what you can expect. Sometimes it would be good. Sometimes it would be really, really bad.
And you have to learn how to deal with that.
Exactly. So you know how to prepare yourself, because at the beginning, most of the time when people start doing stand-up comedy, for example, your friends come to support you. Then they laugh at your jokes because they do it out of love, or if you're a popular person. So then if you go to the real spot, like you said, like only 3 people, it's really bad. But then you also know what you can expect in the future. If you went through that kind of situation.
Yeah, you need to feel that. You need to feel the difficulties.
Yeah, true. And that's, not the good crowd makes you grow, I think, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's actually and for me personally speaking, at the beginning, I would talk to my comedians friends like, oh, this crowd is really bad today. They're so lame and they don't clap. And then now I understand there's no bad crowd. They come, they don't hate you. They don't know who you are. So if you don't make them laugh, you suck.
Yeah, you got to figure out how
exactly
to
like your jokes.
You should write that in the green room.
Yeah, it's a good sign to have, like just before you get on stage.
Yeah, you can never judge any crowd. There could be like drunk crowd, tough crowd. Like for example, if you go to perform in America, because they've been spoiled with their stand-up comedy. They have so many professional stand-up comedians, so whatever, but they could be tough, but they are still audience. Like Louis C.K., he performs everywhere. People loves at his jokes, right?
Oh, but he's good.
Of course, Jim Jeffries too, right? My favorite Jim Jeffries. God. Like, and then you can, like, for me, comedians do not get to judge audience. Audience judge you, and also, of course, your money comes from them, like in the future probably. So you should think of for yourself. And I think that's why I said like bad crowd makes you like like your bad experience with crowd makes you grow, and it's really important, and that's how makes you to become a more confident people. Like you said, I'm super shy at the beginning, like 2019, back 2019. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to express myself. Don't know how to choose the right word, whatever. And then it has to go through this, the whole thing. And then it's not easy. You have to go through many years. I mean,
but I'm glad you said, I'm sorry to cut you off, because she said something that was directly connected to a podcast episode I was listening to like yesterday. And I don't know if you know Conan O'Brien.
No.
It's like a talk show host, comedian, really good. And he has this really, really awesome podcast where he does pretty much the same thing, invites people. And he had Howard Stern on, which is like a famous radio DJ from New York, like one of the biggest. And he was talking about the time he was talking about this female comedian called Rosie O'Donnell. And he always, like, his thing was making fun of everyone. It was like really killing them. And he would make fun of her. And then he eventually did a podcast himself where he would invite people and then you would get to know them. And she told the story like that. She said, my first show was, I killed it because all my friends came. And all my friends laughed at all my jokes. And I got off that stage.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. And then the next 20 were terrible. And I became depressed, and I was like, and she ended up being like a really famous and successful comedian, like doing movies and everything. But like, he didn't know how much of that like bad experience with the crowd was, especially after like a first experience was like, oh, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Like everyone's laughing. And it's like, okay, I know everyone in the room right now. So it's like,
and also it will affect your performance on the stage as well. Because if I know you guys, if you're my friends, of course I talk you confidently. If it's the new audience, or like some people just like audience sitting like this, look at you like when they say this is another thing. Like when I was living with this my super good comedian friend, he's so professional. Like for me, he's just like my comedy mentor. He would be super happy. Steven, you will be so happy that I mentioned in Italy with this podcast. Okay, so yeah, he's my
notice she's not inviting you to go. Like I did it.
But he's not in Italy.
He's still in China.
In China,
doing his comedy. Full time, So like, oh my, thanks, I forgot. Now,
crowds, the bad crowds, people that sit there looking at you, your friend. You see, I listen to people.
That's great, but I don't listen to myself. That's the problem.
You were talking about bad crowds, so it was sort of like the struggle of going up and rocking.
Changes your performance.
Changes your performance.
Oh yeah, like the performance, because you think that you would be confident when you talk to the people you don't know. Oh yeah, they are less cooler. Like all of your performance, it depends on who you're with. For example, when I'm watching comedy with my roommate, Steven, this guy, his name is Steven. So sometimes we watch some stand-up comedy, and it's super funny, but I have to hold myself because I don't want to look less cooler. You know?
Right.
With those comedians, like I think, oh my God, this guy is so good, and he just like. And then when it's like super good or whatever, I can't hold it anymore. He goes like, ha! And he finished. Should I laugh for?
Like, come on, Steven, fucking laugh.
And I hate it. He just like that kind of like very symbolized the laugh.
It's like ecstatic.
Yes. I think it's also your performance all depends on who you are with, your audience, or even so like sometimes when I perform, when I just had my show, I got new comedians. They join us. I feel super confident because I'm more experienced than them. And then I got some, like, for example, yesterday the showcase, we got like very good comedians. He's been doing comedy for the past 30 years. And I've just all of a sudden become like a very newbie.
Yeah.
I stumble on a stage. I don't know what to talk. Yeah. So
I have the same thing. But I think and I've been doing photography for almost 20 years now, in one way or another. And so, but I still get to, like, I don't know, there's the supermodel that works with like all the top photographers, and then she comes in front of your camera, and it's like, hang on a second, I've got to, those guys are like the gods, and now I have to take a picture of this chick.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like insistence are so important and so precious, because a lot of people get like, I've encountered so many, I don't know other fields or industries, but like, for example, from my comedy experience, I've met so many new first timers who are like new comedians. They thought they were good, and then at some point they just give up because people stop like, oh, this one didn't work out, that one didn't work out. They just like, that's it. But then there's some like comedians, I don't care, I just do it. Like I had this bad experience with other audience, but I'm just gonna keep doing it, and that's how they gradually become better and better.
Exactly. I think it depends on if you have something to say or not.
Or if you
have
like
something that actually is. But at some point,
have you ever noticed
you
like
have to have something to say to get on stage?
Maybe
not like serious or not serious, but you have to get something off your chest in some way.
Yeah, but I think like to keep on doing something, like anything, you have stand-up comedy or like football or whatever, like. You have to have that love, and then like the stuff to say will come afterwards as well. Like you want to do that.
But if you have nothing to say,
you can find it.
No, there are people that have nothing to say.
I agree with Andy. I agree with Andy because, like, a lot of professional stand-up comedians, I notice, like, they become like, a lot of people say they are less funny. I don't get to say this, but I feel like once you become very professional, you don't have life anymore. Mm-hmm. When you don't have your life, you are very lack of resources. So
exactly. That's why the great ones, the old great ones, they manage to turn, like Ricky Gervais, he turns the fact that he's so wealthy and everything into comedy now, and it's not easy to do.
No, it's not.
Because first you have to become wealthy.
Yeah, but then like that, like
and all comedians are struggling. We are poor as hell.
Yeah, like exactly. And, like no one's paying. Like, no, but I mean, at that point, at that level, I think like Ricky Gervais is a perfect example. Like he does his material, he's done all his stand-up, he still does them, but then he breaks out into, he does The Office and he does Afterlife, and he does like he kind of reuses material and he makes new formats and new shows.
Yeah, but I think it's the fact that he has something to say. It gives him the possibility to do all that. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, he's working off material that he's like already made.
He's got a vision of life. He understands who he is. He's got this whole like thing that he can use as like a library of material that he can just decide, okay, this material here, but Bill Burr's the same. Yeah. And he'll just take a bit of this and go into that section there, and then a bit of this and then go into that.
But I think I think what you were talking about, the insistence, is like something that, especially in the beginning, is something you need. Like you need to like, okay, because there are a lot of people that have something to say, but they just like, okay, I'm not gonna go ahead because I don't have that drive to just keep on pushing.
You need both.
Exactly. I mean, like for me, I think like insistence, of course, important. Hardworking, of course, important. Of course, opportunities. Yeah, is very important too. Because like there are so many comedians, they are underrated, and like at the end of their life, probably they can never have the opportunity like or other success for comedians. But if you give up in the middle, you will never even have the chance. Yeah. So all you have to do, you don't know, because we don't know.
And that is why I have like, I think I can talk to you for you as well. The utmost respect for people like you and Marco from B Comedy that create these little like areas where people can start off. Like you have people that start off and you have people that are already like solidified in the scene that have a place to perform. But it's especially that little spark. It's like open mic. And that was not common in Italy until like maybe 2018. It started like popping up.
Yeah.
And the difference between Italy and the US or the UK is that they have so many of these places where you can start off small, and here it was like, okay, it's Zelig. You have to like start off in theater, or you have to like do a school.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is like you listen to the old comedians speak, and they would be like, okay, in New York, I would do like 5 shows in a night, and I'd go from 5 different clubs, and maybe they would give you $20 a spot, but at the end of the night, you got $100. Because you don't have 5 spots.
Yeah. Oh, that means that means you have to be good.
Yeah.
Like very few of them can get paid.
Yeah.
Especially you perform in New York and that kind of, open mic, you don't get paid.
Oh, no, for open mic, no, of course. But for like featuring or whatever,
or like showcase,
maybe like
events.
a little showcase or something, they could maybe organize themselves and get it. Because obviously the open mic is practice. No? It's where you go to learn. So obviously you're not going to get paid. You're lucky that you don't have to pay to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I like my open mic here that I did is like not only for people to tell on the stage to tell jokes, like also we had, for example, like we have few times we had singers, musicians. They just contact me because they said I was trying to look for like an open mic space, but I couldn't find. So I found your advertisement. I know you're doing stand-up comedy, but can I perform? I'm like, what do you do? Send me some clips or something. And then, they are really good. So I'm like, you can close the show. So like what the audience didn't expect is like, they thought that they just going to hear jokes the whole night. And then at the end, I'm like, we have one very good singer, whatever. And we have a very good ending. So like, I think audience, they have more respect. Like they didn't see this coming. So it would be a big chance for them to end up. Yeah, exactly. So right now, of course, I only focus on comedy. But also it would be good. I think it's nice to have some different form of performing as well at the end for 1 or 2, and it's open for that too. It's good. So I think you cannot define open mic. If it's open mic, it's stand-up comedy open mic. But 1, 2 is okay as long as everyone's enjoying. What I learned, like what I know in the past is open mic. We just do this, focus on this. But no, I think most important is the experience from the audience. Yeah, you can create the new form. You can create your new rules for this open mic or your comedy, whatever. And so far, I think it's good. And we can keep doing that.
Absolutely. Let's keep doing it.
Let's keep doing it.
D, give us all your details for Instagram one more time, and then we close it up.
Okay, perfect. And now it's advertisement time.
Yeah.
So right now we have 3 spots in Milan. The first one is Yellow Square Hostel. That's where I started. So 9 p.m., it's close to Porta Romana, a station. And then the next one is Babila on Thursday. It's 9 p.m. And then the Monday one is Ostello, Bello, 9 p.m. All of the shows starts at 9 p.m. and it's open mics. And our Instagram page is Yellow D Comedy. And my personal Instagram is 9067 Delia.
Sick.
That was like one of the best shows we've had.
Amazing.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much.
Woo!
Woo, woo, woo.
Champion.
Nice. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Arcade Studio Podcast with Andrea and René Olivo. 100% self-produced and free. Available on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Amazon Music, and other podcast platforms. Just like all creatives, we are obsessed with feedback too. So, leave us a review. Did you like the episode, guest, or topics? Write to us. Any comments, suggestions, or proposals? Write to us. Don't like the font, colors, or how we talk? Fuck off. But then, write to us. We're open to all interactions because your feedback is fundamental to help us get better. Arcade Studio Podcast with Andrea and René Olivo. Listen more.